Toy maker Mattel was making headlines recently. They asked for remote employees to have a private room free from kids, pets, music, and all sorts of other things. And the company then had to backtrack because they got a lot of pushback, saying that we just want you to pay attention to detail in private workspaces. A lot of people working for them said that's an invasion of my privacy. You're spying on us now. And there is, I suppose, a line that has to be drawn someplace.
Yeah, I can understand the boss wanting to make sure you're doing your job, and it's hard to do if you're not in the office for him to make, or her, to make sure of that.
Well, we go to Spencer O'Leary, the CEO of ActiveOps North America, to talk about where that line needs to be when you're managing remote employees. Spencer, thank you for coming on WBAP this morning.
Hi, good morning.
Is it something we're going to have for a long time in the future? People working from home, maybe the workforce is starting to lean that direction, and it might be just we'll adopt it as permanent. And then if that's the case, how do you manage people who you don't see every day?
I think it is here to stay, and what we're starting to see is organisations who are really embracing this idea of having a model where people can work from home some days of the week. They can come into the office, meet with their colleagues, other days of the week, and move in between the two. I think that's here to stay, and organisations have very quickly got used to how an employee works from home. But what they haven't got used to is how managers manage from home. And as you've just said, it's really different managing people when you can't see them and you can't hear them, to try and get those appropriate measures. And I think you got it spot on. Don't cross that line where you start to invade people's privacy. And we've got a lot of work to do. It's why people come and talk to and work with ActiveOps. We help managers be better managers at managing remotely, whether it's them that's remote or whether it's the employees that are remote. It's a real skill and a real art for people to get right.
Spencer O'Leary is with us. He is the CEO of ActiveOps North America. He's an expert on managing remote employees. Spencer, let me give you this scenario. I'm working from home, doing the broadcasting from home this morning while we're going through all of this. If the boss calls up and says, "Listen, I just want to see what you're doing at home. I'm going to come by and look at what you have set up. I want to see your equipment. I'll be there in an hour." Is that okay? Do I say, "Sure, come on in," to help him out, or is this what you're talking about being a little over possessive here?
I think we're the wrong side of that line. And what I'd question that boss, that manager, to think about is why. Why do they feel the need to do that? Some of the appropriate things that I think are the right side of the line are the hours that people work and the output that people create, whether it's how much work they do or the quality of their work. They're the things that a manager needed to know in the office, and they're the same things the manager needs to know when people are working from home. And as long as that employee is working the hours that they've agreed the employee should work, and they're creating the right level of output to the right level of quality, and that's what managers are paid to manage. And there's some other measures and some other data that a manager really should get to grips with, like employee well-being. Am I going to suffer from workplace stress because that drives sickness and attrition? Again, we can provide that data to people remotely. They don't need to see and hear their employees. With the right data, the right skills, and some training, managers can manage as effectively remotely without visiting their employees as they can when they did it in the office.
You have 5 key challenges for managing remotely. And quickly, they are understanding output, protecting well-being, maintaining control, enabling decision-making and execution, and reducing attrition. The one thing I want to go back to is number 3, maintaining control. And that's kind of a bold statement, maintaining control, say, of me while I'm at home.
It is, and I think there's a real nuance to maintaining control of your operation versus maintaining control of your people. The first of those is the right side of the line. The second of those is the wrong side of the line. Mm-hmm. So maintaining control of your operation is customers expect to be serviced in the way that an organization presents itself. I will do the thing you're asking me to do, customer, and we'll do it in 2 days, or we'll do it in 2 hours, whatever that service level is that the organization proposes. And for a manager to be in control of their operation, they need to know how much work they're going to receive, how much resource they've got to do it, the speed of production of their resource and the timeliness of it. And if I know those data points, and I've got enough people to do the work in the right amount of time, I'm in control of my operation. And what managers are now stepping over the line to try and create, when they're knocking on people's doors and trying to see if they're working or not, they're just trying to be in control of their operation. They don't have the data to understand how much work they've got and how much resource they've got. So they're trying other things, other inappropriate things, the wrong side of the line things, to try and maintain control. So as managers out there are listening, make sure you work with people like ActiveOps, make sure you've got the data to remain in control of your operation, and you won't have the need to knock on people's doors and to try and invade people's privacy. It's something you won't have to do.
Spencer, we have about 60 seconds left, but I wanted to ask you, because when this started and people started doing the remote work, I kept thinking companies actually, I'm surprised they don't embrace this because remote work allows them to small up their real estate footprint. So instead of having a massive facility, you really don't need that kind of space anymore with everybody working from home.
Absolutely. And if people can have the right data, the right skills in their management team to manage the remote workforce, there's huge savings to be had. The data that we've collected from our customers over the last 2 years shows that most businesses, most people, were more productive when they work from home. They really need to watch those well-being and those creativity challenges that a remote workforce maybe can't be as productive and as efficient and effective in. But as you say, there's real savings to be made. So if organisations embrace this, it can be a real positive for both the employee working from home and the employer who's reducing some of those costs.
Spencer O'Leary here is the CEO of ActiveOps North America with us on WBAP. Spencer, thank you so much for coming on. We do appreciate it.
Thanks. Have a great day.